Hello, fourth year students. Today we are going to talk about exclamation in English. This is the last type or the last major type of sentences in English. It is the exclamation or exclamative sentences. First of all, we are going to start with defining the exclamative sentence or saying the purpose behind producing such a sentence in language. So exclamations are made to express surprise or shock or a strong emotion about something. The type of a phrase or clause associated with exclamations is called exclamative or exclamatory sentences. So the type of sentences that we are going to study is called an exclamatory sentence, and it is used to express exclamation. What does it mean, exclamation? Exclamation means to express surprise, shock, or a strong feeling towards something or someone. Usually, exclamatives or exclamatory sentences are formed by using two WH words at the beginning. Either we use how or what. When I am writing an exclamation or exclamatory sentence, I should end it with an exclamatory mark. Okay, so these are two of the distinctive features of exclamatory sentences in English. They start with one of these two WH words. Either we use what or how, and we end these sentences in writing with an exclamatory mark. For example, what an amazing car it is. It starts with what, and as you see, when I write it, I end it with an exclamatory mark. How beautifully she sang. Again, it starts with how and ends with an exclamatory mark. This is another definition for the exclamatory sentence. It is an intense response towards some unexpected or immediate expression. Okay, so the sentence we are going to form in such a situation is called an exclamation or exclamatory sentence. It is a short expression that is made to express emotion. For example, how speedy this machine is working. Oh, what a gorgeous dress she is wearing. In fact, there are different ways that we can use to express exclamation, to express surprise, to express shock or strong feelings that we have towards something or someone. For example, we can use the expressions wow, okay, or oh, or ah. These are expressions, these are individual words. We can use them to express exclamations. We can use them to express strong feelings that we have. But since we are dealing here with the grammar, and the grammar is mainly interested with making sentences, so here we are going to restrict our attention to what? To the exclamatory sentences. And exclamatory sentences, as we said before, they start with one of these two WH words, either what or how. When we say that an exclamatory sentence starts with one of these two WH words, in fact, this makes the exclamatory sentence similar to the WH questions. Because as you remember, WH questions can also start with what or how. Okay, so what or how can be used to make a WH question and at the same time can be used to make an exclamatory sentence. So this is one of the similarities that we can find between the exclamatory sentences and WH questions. Another similarity is that if you remember with the WH question, we said that the WH question in fact starts with the question element. Okay, and the question element consists of the WH word itself, and that can be followed by another element. This is called what? The question element. So the same thing here we have here. The exclamatory sentence also is going to start with an element that we call it X element. X element. And X is an abbreviation for exclamation. Okay, so what are the components of this X element? The X element consists of what or how plus the elements that come after them. Okay, and the elements that can be used after what or how can be a noun phrase, an adjective, or an adverb. So the WH word with the element that is following it is going to make for us the X element. For example, what a lovely day it is. What a lovely day it is. So this is an exclamatory sentence. As you see, it starts with what, and because we are writing it, we have put at the end an exclamatory mark. The first element that we can find at the beginning of this exclamatory sentence is what a lovely day. What a lovely day. So this is called what? The X element. That consists of the WH word what plus the noun phrase a lovely day. Okay, then we have it as a subject and is the verb. Okay, so here it is said that the syntactic order is therefore upset to the extent that the X element, which may be object, complement, or adverbial, as well as subject, may be taken from its usual statement position and put into a position of initial prominence. On the other hand, in contrast to WH questions, there is generally no subject-operator inversion. So the note here is talking about how to change a sentence from a statement into an exclamatory sentence. So if we examine these sentences, which are statements, for example, this is a beautiful city. This is a statement. How do we notice a statement? It starts with a subject, this, followed by is as a verb, followed by a beautiful city, the subject complement. So this is a pattern of this statement. Now, if I want to change this statement into an exclamatory sentence by expressing a strong feeling that I have about or towards the beauty of the city, okay, I'm going to say, what a beautiful city this is. What a beautiful city this is. Okay, so what a beautiful city, this is the X element. That consists of what plus the noun phrase a beautiful city. Okay, so please remember this point that I'm going to mention. The X element is going to take the same function of the element that we are surprised about in the statement. Okay, so as you remember, we said that we are going to change this statement into an exclamatory sentence to express our strong feeling that we have about the beautiful city. So look at the function of a beautiful city in the statement. It was what? A subject complement. So when we change it into an exclamatory sentence, the new X element that we have made, which is what a beautiful city, also functions as well, subject complement. Okay, then after the X element, you see we have this is. What is this? This is subject. Okay, if you go back to the statement, you are going to see that the subject is this and the verb is. Okay, so this arrangement of putting the subject before the verb, in fact, makes the exclamatory sentence different from the questions, from the WH questions in particular. Because if you remember, in WH questions, we have to apply the rule of subject-operator inversion to put the operator, the auxiliary, before the subject in order to make a question. Do we need now to apply the same rule in making an exclamatory sentence? No. The subject will be or will appear or will occur before the verb. So the pattern of the exclamatory sentence is going to be like this. The X element, which is what a beautiful city, is the subject complement. This is the subject and is the verb. Another example. She drives perfectly. She, subject, drives is the verb, and perfectly, this is the adverb. Adverb of manner. So this is what kind of a verb we have here? It is an intransitive verb. Pattern number 7. Okay? Now, if I want to change now this sentence from a statement into an exclamatory sentence, I'm going to express my surprise or my shock concerning how perfectly she drives. Okay, how the adverb perfectly in particular. So my sentence will become how perfectly she drives. Now, the exclamatory sentence, as you see, starts with the X element, and the X element consists of how, okay, plus the adverb perfectly. Now, how perfectly, this X element takes the same function of the adverb perfectly in the statement. So the X element functions as what? As adverb. After the X element, we use the subject she, and it drives the verb. There's one important point that I want you to pay attention to here, which is what? The difference between the use of what and how. You may wonder, why do we use in the first sentence what, while in the second sentence we have used how? Okay, this is determined according to the element that is going to come or appear after the WH word. So as you see in the first sentence, when we say what a beautiful city, after what we have used what? A beautiful city, a noun phrase. So if the element that comes after the WH word is a noun phrase, you have to use what? Which WH word? What. But if you have the element that you are going to use to make the X element, it is an adjective, okay, adjective, or an adverb, here you have to use with it what? How, and not what. Okay. Another example, we had a wonderful party. We had a wonderful party. We is the subject, had is a verb, and a wonderful party, this is the direct object. To make it an exclamatory sentence, we are going to say, what a wonderful party we had. Okay, so what a wonderful party, it is what? It is the object, the direct object. We is a subject and had is a verb. Why do we use here what and not how? Because a wonderful party, this element that comes after the WH word, is a noun phrase. So we have to use with it what. An enormous crowd came. An enormous crowd came. Enormous means very big, very huge, large number of people. Okay, so an enormous crowd, this is the subject, and came is the verb. As an exclamatory sentence, it is going to be what an enormous crowd came. What an enormous crowd came. So the X element, which consists of what plus the noun phrase, an enormous crowd, functions as what? As subject. Okay, and then we have the verb came. Another important point I want to attract your attention to is how to deal with the prepositions and prepositional phrases in exclamatory sentences. So the X element, like the question element of the WH questions, can also act as a prepositional complement. I think you remember we have dealt with something like that when we made or when we explained how to make WH questions. We said that the WH questions can also, the WH, the question element, can also function as a prepositional complement. The problem was with where should we put the preposition. And I think you'll remember that the preposition can either be put at the beginning of the question before the WH word, and this is in the formal English, or it can be kept at the end, okay, of the question, and this is mainly used in the informal English. Now, what about the exclamatory sentence? If I want to show or to express a strong feeling about an element in a sentence, and this element is in fact is a prepositional phrase or is a part of a prepositional phrase. Okay, so where am I going to put the preposition? Am I going also to change its place or what? So they say here now the exclamatory sentences in this point are different from the WH questions. How? Because in exclamatory sentences, in fact, we have only one place, one position for the preposition, which is where at the end of the sentence. For example, we are in a mess. We are in a mess. We is a subject, are is a verb, and in a mess, this is a prepositional phrase. In form, in function, it is an adverb. Okay, so it is subject, intensive verb, adverb. This is pattern number 1. Now, if I want to change this statement into an exclamatory sentence by describing the strong feeling, the strong surprise I have about the mess that we are in. How can I say it? I'm going to say, what a mess we are in. What a mess we are in. So we have taken part of the preposition, which is the noun phrase, a mess, okay, and with what we are making what the X element. So what a mess, this is what the X element, okay. Then the subject we, the verb are, and remember there is something that has been left from the prepositional phrase we have not used, which is what? Which is the preposition. So we are going to keep it in its place at the end of the sentence. Okay, so here the exclamatory sentence becomes what a mess we are in. What a mess is an adverb, we is a subject, and are is a verb. If you want to know the function of n is going, of course, to be, it is part of the adverb, but we have kept it here. We are separating between the preposition and its complement because we are making here what? An exclamatory sentence. And in exclamatory sentences, we do not put prepositions at the beginning. We keep them at the end. Okay. So at the end of explaining exclamatory sentences, I am putting for you here a small exercise of 8 points in which I want you to change the following statements into exclamatory sentences. Okay, so the first step, the first thing I want you to do, to read each sentence carefully and then try to change it into an exclamatory sentence. After you change it, I want you to tell me or to identify the X element. Where is it? It consists of what? Okay? And then tell me about its function. So here you have these 5 sentences which we are going to do in the class together. Okay? Thank you. Please stay well and safe.